already opened the meeting at 5:30. In fact, there was nobody out here at 5:30 when I looked. So we did have a non-public. So we already said the Pledge of Allegiance. Has everybody seen payroll manifest?
Yep.
The minutes for May 26th?
Yep. Make a motion to accept the minutes. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We had one veterans tax credit, the highway truck reimbursement that we are removing off the agenda. We'll have that for next week. But we are adding, there was a letter of hire for the tax clerk's office. And they did start yesterday? Today? Yeah, started today. And they're Tuesday, Wednesday. Part-time. So real quick, everybody see under new business, the letter from resident for regarding a fire rescue call?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Neester.
Yes, sir.
Come on up.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
This one is soon for the 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
How are you?
Good, you?
Well, you.
Okay, right. Two things to report. We had a great meeting Thursday with Dan Bureau. Four of the top people were there, including Corey Clark, and Nick was there, who was the designer. We went through a lot of questions. I've got a tremendous amount of insight from their perspective. And the bottom line is that it's the federal regulations that are holding up small hydros in New Hampshire. The federal regulations are primarily designed for dams that have a head of 200 feet, the base of the dam. They have no provisions for small or mini hydros. So I've taken it on myself to be the spearhead on that and see if we can't get that turned around. And I proposed to the Dam Bureau that if we could get a pilot study, they suggested a pilot study. If we could turn Suncoast Lake into a pilot study, do the small hydro, and a small hydro is defined as 1 to 10 megawatts of power. If we could do that, then we might be able to get that through. But the time is crunching now because we're a year away. So I have put in a number of calls to Maggie Gasson to see if we can sit down and go through this and figure out what we can do and talk to her team. And I just haven't gotten much response. And I've just got to find a way to open that door. I've got a couple of thoughts, but I don't want to broadcast them, so we'll see how I do here in the next month. And I'll give you an update as soon as I start to crack it up. But I think we have a shot using Suncoast Lake and the dam as a pilot study for small hydros in the whole state. And there is some 200 plus dams that are 414 million to rehabilitate or destroy or take out or whatever. And as I put it in the notes to Maggie Hasson's team, I said, you're not realistic to think that the state of New Hampshire taxpayers are going to pay $414 million to take out these dams. I said, you're not realistic. We need some federal support to try to get some hydros in place so we can generate revenue so we can help defray the cost of electricity and power. So that's the best I got right now. The other thing that I'm working is the Historical Society on Hartshorn Road claiming that the culvert much progress on that. It's literally like opening a door and blowing hard and seeing a smoke swirl around and then stop. But again, I've got some thoughts on how to crack that nut, and I just have to stay at it and see if I can get to the people that make the decisions and see if we can't get whatever the regulations are for a 100-year-old culvert.
So if
Makes no sense to me.
if it's considered it's a historical, does that mean that it would have to be built back to its original or in the same way as it originally was built?
I don't think so. Now, that's my personal opinion. The reason why is that's why it failed. The culvert, from a report from the road agent, showed that the rocks were piled in a circular fashion, so that they crushed down and do the support. The fact that it totally destroyed itself in the first 3 feet tells me that the hydrostatic pressure of the water just blew those rocks up. And then, okay, the ground's gone, they crumbled and failed.
I went in it
So
myself.
what I'm going to propose is that we clean out that first 3 feet and put in the beginnings of a tube that goes through the whole length of the original rock to try to relieve the pressure, so that culvert, the metal culvert, takes all the pressure, the hydrostatic pressure, and doesn't force those rocks to keep coming apart.
And I think that was when we met the engineers out there, trying to evaluate that culvert. I think that's exactly what the plan was to leave as much as we could of what was existing and put a larger culvert inside of that, or a culvert inside of that.
Well,
Yeah, they weren't going to take that out.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think the historical society will go with that. But my thinking is we can get a metal culvert, maybe a half a foot diameter smaller, slide that through the whole thing, and then seal that off, and then put
Half a foot?
What?
A half a foot, you said? Or smaller?
No. The culvert I thought was like 2 feet in diameter.
Yeah, I think they were talking about 3 actually, but
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
But it
wasn't it that?
I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I want to
And
say
I
it was
don't
like
remember-
a 36-inch that they were talking about putting in there.
it wasn't. We weren't taking the culvert out.
No.
We were almost putting like a concrete slab over it for strength wise. Is what was being engineered. I'd have to review everything we got from Mitchie.
Yeah, personally, I don't think that would work. Hydrostatic pressure with that kind of water flows just from
I mean, I'm not an engineer, and it's Mitchie's corpse inside engineer is the one that designed everything.
So I think the metal culvert will stand the test of time, and if we need the future rainstorm will return that, if we need to do something else, the only way we're going to get by the historical side is leave that there and put another parallel to it. And
The state hates that.
Yeah.
They do not like double culverts.
Huh?
The state does not like double culverts.
Oh well.
I mean,
First thing we got to find out if it is historic or not,
unfortunately,
and if they're
they approve it.
regulating it.
The problem is,
Who's facilitating the historical, that thing's historical? Because I don't remember this conversation coming up prior to this.
No, it is. I got the contact information from Mike Timlin over the Indoor.
Okay.
And he dealt with them in 2006 when we had the initial issue.
Okay.
And they refused our ability to repair that thing. And then it got totally wiped out and flooded 2 years ago when it took out the program.
Yep.
So Ed, right now, I'm actually going to cut you off because all we have is the Suncook Lake Dam, the hydro dam for right now. So, can you get all your information together on Hartshorn Road and honestly come back to us so we can have time to review everything from what Mitchie Corp was preparing? And, but yeah, no, that's fine. Just so yeah, we're on the same page, and I know we've got a time crunch tonight,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, no problem.
I do have a couple of questions on the dam, that I need clarification on.
yeah.
You say you want to use this as a pilot, to Suncook as a pilot. Is there a way to do the study without, I mean, is it based upon like gallons per second, or just kilowatt output? In other words, is there some way you could come up with some device or something to measure the flow, which would convert to kilowatt hour
Yeah,
without?
the issue is not the flow, the issue is the head of the dam.
Okay,
So, all the regulations that the guys could reference to me were like 150 to 200 feet plus on the head of the dam. They are
On the
made for
height?
major, all the hydro regulations are all major dams.
what's the height got to do with it?
The height of the Suncoast Lake is 20 feet.
I understand that, but
So
It's-
federal regulations only, from what my understanding is they only allow it for dams with the height of 150, 200 feet.
oh, okay, so it's not how much it can actually put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the water flow. The water flow, believe it or not, in Suncoast Lake is controlled by downstream.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Suncoast River is all sandy soil, and that was shown in 2006 when it wiped out and made a new track,
Okay,
and that controls the output. The output of the Suncoast Lake Dam, the potential could be over 10 megawatts of power, but we're limited to about 2 megawatts of power because of the outflow restriction.
I got you.
And that restriction turns out to be about 720 cubic feet per
Okay.
second.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Thanks,
Ed.
Good.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Good luck.
Frank, you ready?
Good evening, thank you. Yeah, so we're, hopefully we have a chance to be pretty, full, we're working on like last month or so, and I want to say thanks to, the team here that put it all together, especially, Laura Dunn, and then Dave and John with, professional expertise in this area as well. So, yeah, and I think, I had a conversation with Karen earlier today, that, everything looks pretty good. We're here to answer any questions. I did speak with DES just a couple of days ago about the whole process and how everything gets ranked. Our steering committee, this small group, plus Karen and everybody else from the town, plus DES will help us with the rankings for the proposals that we get. DES did actually send out, publish this on their blog, and also email it to all their different contractors throughout the state. And as they come in, they come into Karen and myself. We go through them again and rank them according to the points that are in the ranking system that is in the RFQ that you have. And then the ranking process is very specific. It's they really take the firm that ranks the highest, and they do a scope of work based on the RFQ that we have, that 9-point plan, shoreline survey, water quality, et cetera. And we deal with one company at a time. If they come in, for instance, if they came in with a proposal that was over budget, we would obviously say so, and they would fine tune it as well. DES would also be very helpful, as you heard in the past, with their expertise. They know firms that have done work similar to this in the state, especially in New Hampshire lakes, so that we're not getting somebody from who doesn't really understand the water quality, the topography, et cetera, the minerals in the water, and the various problems that New Hampshire lakes have. Dave, would you like to answer anything?
Only that I've been working with Frank, Laura, and John, and others for about a year now. I met with these folks a couple of months ago. size from the ledge, like for 26 years, and I've been Marston residents for 15 years, and I've gotten involved since my retirement in the soil control and cyanobacteria identification and control. And so the obvious way for us to work with Frank on this project. I have a lot of experience in the academic world with proposal writing and evaluation. Just willing and patient to help.
Mhm. When all these RFQs come in, are you guys gonna review them?
Yes.
Or because ultimately, my understanding is that the board has to make a decision because it's the way the warrant article is written.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you guys will go through them all and then have a
We're
recommendation.
ranking, yeah, with Karen, anybody else that, that you select.
Yep.
Okay, and, we'll do it as a team, a compact team, if you will.
Mhm.
Not gonna be too many people involved, probably 5, 6, 7, 8. And, and taking all the information and making kind of a group decision, get a consensus on. And again, the ranking process is scientific, and the firm that comes in highest is the one that we go to best according to the state rates. Okay, and then we ask them to submit a proposal. And then if it comes in, like I said, a little high, then we say, hey, we got to fine tune this. My conversations with DES is that they know, the firms know that we're going to get 100,000. Okay, so they know that, so they're not going to come in ridiculous. They could come a little above, maybe a little below.
I mean, that would be after because you put in here not to send any costs, any numbers. Do not provide a cost estimate, fee schedule, or a price proposal at this time.
Right. So that is right.
So yeah,
It's
so
just
there would be no numbers.
The
Yeah.
numbers come in
Afterwards, yeah.
after the run.
Yep. So how do you see the drawdown next year affecting this whole project?
I talked a little bit with DES about that. There's pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
For instance, and I've talked with Karen about this as well. That's why we're kind of running it because we know that the drawdown is coming. So we try. I think one of the first aspects is that we try to do the shoreline survey before it gets drawn down.
Yeah.
Not to say that they couldn't do it, but it's going to be drawn down, and there's going to be rocks that are real higher towards the bottom. And not that they can't get in the water and walk the shore. It'd be a hell of a lot easier. So if we have somebody in place by say September, and they can do it before the drawdown, then that aspect is great. And then the drawdown could be good in the sense that we might see some things that are not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So there might be an old pipe and
Something.
from one of the old camps that are out there, and some nasty effluent coming out. So that could be a big plus.
Yeah.
I expect that the consulting firms will find that a little difficult, and they want to slow up the schedule. There is no firm endpoint, as I understand the schedule, because if you're going to do water sampling, what I imagine will do is a budget of the issues and particular phosphorus, and if the water depth in the lakes and the way the various sources, both the river and the streams, come into the lake is affected by the drawdown, you're going to be gun shy about coming to conclusions that they can apply to whether the lake is going to stay or not. So I expect some pushback in the schedule. I don't want to be specified, but I don't think it will affect the state's funding or anything. I understand that they could well want to wait on some of the water sampling and do just the shoreline survey and some other things in the first season, and wait for the rest of the water until the second year.
Anybody else have anything?
Just mention if the board accepts this tonight.
I'm going to say, is this,
On page 8, it says as chairman on the meeting. I don't want
Oh, we
to.
give you a promotion.
Thank you. I will take that and put it up.
Is the board good with it?
I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah.
Take a motion then to accept it for the Lakeland Association to send us out. Or the Watershed Management Steering Committee, I should say. Too many associations.
I'll make a motion to accept the Suncook Lake Watershed Management Plan.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Frank.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. So the joint meeting with Pittsfield Select Board will be June 10th at 5:30 p.m. here. So that'll be a workshop for us. June 10th, Linda.
I'm sorry.
June 10th,
Or,
Select Board meeting with Pittsfield,
oh,
5:30 p.m.
Awesome.
here. So that'll be
So,
po- yep, that's open to the public. Posted as a workshop. I don't remember seeing the goals of the highway department cameras and the folders.
No, because that was the other thing I wanted to, just to get the proposals out to the board, because it just came in yesterday,
The third one.
the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
So that's
and then,
next week's.
you know, if you want me to, I can email them on.
Yep. Yeah, just so we review them ahead of time.
So,
So highway department cameras will be on next week's agenda. Estimated ETA for paving right now is end of June, beginning of July. So we're just estimating that could change one. So I do have that. One thing for the board too is the excavator at the moment is down. One of the wheel hubs on it was leaking, so Sarah's actually bringing it to somebody here in town that used to work for the dealer. She did call the dealer first to get a price, a rough price as to what it would cost in the shop there, which is right around $4,000 estimated, obviously without pulling apart. If the dealer was to come out here to do the repair on site, it was estimated at $6,000 roughly. But with the gentleman here in town that used to work for the dealer that's now working on his own for himself, he's estimated about $4,500. So, but he's not going to know obviously until they pull it apart, take everything apart, see what it is. So it may not be as simple just pull it apart, reseal it. May need gears, may need bearings. So, but yeah, just to give the board a heads up on that one. So,
Okay.
so
we looking to approve this guy coming out and quoting what the damage is, or, I mean,
no, they're gonna bring it right to his place right here in town,
okay,
and then he's gonna pull it apart and
take a
Let us
look
know.
and let
Yeah.
us know.
so let us know unfortunately what that repair bill will potentially be. So, anything, Karen? Man, that's does the board have anything?
I don't think so. Good.
sorry, I can add, just last week you asked if I would send, to our insurance company about the diver insurance that can brought to
Mhm.
attention.
Yep.
And so our insurance company got back and just said they're not employees, so there's no coverage that would be provided. But did
Okay.
suggest that perhaps they go forward with the insurance that Ed had presented.
Already. And we did that. 6:35, I will open up public input.
Steve Bowden, 479 South Huntsville Road. So I understand you received a letter of resignation, General Holder, effective this coming Sunday, which I guess is going to leave us with one police officer on the force, just an interim chief. You know, 6 weeks ago he was in and spoke to you folks about work conditions, my understanding. Then he came in and he spoke about his use of the car. He agreed to let him continue using the car.
Mhm.
He's also gone on and on about how much he loves Bernstein. Yeah, here he is resigned. So it's not pay. It's not his car. It's not that he hates the people of Barnstead. To me, only leaves one thing. And for some reason, and I don't know the details, I'm sure you guys do, he's not happy here. And I can tell you that people getting paid a lot doesn't replace bad work. Just doesn't. So, you know, I also know that we've been advertising for part-time and full-time police officers, and we're not getting it. So what's the problem? You guys need to look into this. We need to resolve it.
I mean, it's not just PD. There's nobody applying for highway either.
Yeah.
Like there's just, and it's not just here. It's everywhere. Every municipality, every contractor you go to, nobody's applying.
Yeah.
But yet you drive on the roads all day long, and you see a lot of people on the roads driving. And I work in different neighborhoods all over New Hampshire, Mass, Rhode Island, Maine. And you see all these people that they're at home. They're not working. I don't get it, honestly. I don't know what the issue is. Like,
You know, they will.
but it's just, and that's the hard part. We put advertisements out, and nobody applies. Unfortunately, it's a battle.
Yeah.
It's a battle with fire departments as well. So,
And then when we do, excuse me,
no,
when we do, it's try to compete with private firms, try to compete with other towns, and then we have to please the public with the taxes.
yeah.
So we can only go so far. And we go quite a ways with our help to do the best we possibly can.
I know it's a
But
difficult balance.
that's a tough battle right now, you know, and
Sure. No, I
that doesn't help, even though
Certainly
that's
not.
not the situation probably.
served in the Rochester City Council for 2 years, and, as a state representative for 8. And I know that, you know, attrition is a huge problem in every single part of municipal government. 21% attrition rate nationwide. Sometimes it's much higher, sometimes it's lower. You know, it appeared to me, and probably to many other people in town, that Don was unhappy with his management, with the management above him. If that's the case, and I don't know, and I'm not inferring it is, but if that is the case, then, you know, it kind of falls on you guys to get that issue resolved. I hated to see him go. He's a great guy. You know, his story record, 2 Purple Hearts, you know, just what an asset to our community.
Military career was outstanding.
Story. Absolutely, yeah. And he was a great guy to talk to. You know?
He is.
Known him for years, talked to him at campaigns, I campaigned with him, for him, and I thought he was would have been a wonderful senator. So
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's him himself telling the public that he's resigning, or it's somebody else that he's mentioned it to, because we just received that today.
Yeah.
His resignation.
So you knew
So
before
that's-
we did. How's
so
that?
that's why it wasn't even
How's that?
on the agenda, because literally when we showed up to sign paperwork, it was in our legal folder.
well, I won't reveal this. So
And, you know, one of the things we liked best about him was his interaction with the community.
yeah, so,
You know, I mean, when I said so.
you going
I
up
mean-
Maple Street one night, he was pulling in,
Mhm.
stopped.
Yep.
How's it going? You know, jotted it up for 3 months.
But,
Just, you know,
I
the kind
mean,
of thing you like to see.
These are choices that he makes. I mean, we didn't get rid of him. He made his own choices, and we have to respect that, you know.
I mean, we definitely talked to him when we had, try to work things out and work with him. So, because we do value him. So, that's why we didn't just take the charger away from him. We valued him. So,
We made a good decision. You know, it was a fair call.
Yep.
You know, run it till it runs out.
Yep.
Which it almost is. And he was happy.
He's a very big asset to our community, and he'll be a big loss to the community. We will miss him greatly.
You know, I think back, I bought my house 2 years ago this past October. We immediately alarmed the house. And, I got to hand it to the police department. I had a silent alarm go off. They were there in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I mean, you would never see that. And boom, I got a phone call. It's just an animal walked up on the back. Triggered a motion sensor. It's nice to see. I will get back to that. Thank you guys.
Wait a minute. What else you know that we don't know yet? Huh? Come on, let's go. Keep going, buddy. Let's go. Let's stop there.
I do appreciate,
Find out next week.
Steve, I do appreciate that, like you say, we're being honest with you, that we respect him and we valued him here as a police officer, but you also say there are a lot of different things with somebody that doesn't work out, and it's not necessarily us, not necessarily him. But you show that respect, and I appreciate that, because usually we're just getting shot at about something.
Yeah.
People could need to understand there's 2 sides to everything, 3 maybe.
Absolutely. 10 years of politics.
Yeah.
I've taken some bars.
I appreciate that.
So I always, like I told you guys before, I respect what you do.
Thank you.
Stepped up, and every week you hear, most city councils or town councils, they meet once a month, or twice a month. That's it. So,
That'd be a long ass meeting.
it's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Linda, you got 8 minutes this week. Frank's got 2.
Yeah, I don't think Frank's giving you his time.
I'm gonna leave in this 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to take and just join in with Steve that Officer Holbrook is you can't replace him. And I don't know how we're gonna operate this town with 1 police officer. He's marvelous from a community perspective. I can't understand why he would leave. And I would ask that you work with him to try to get him to stay. There's no reason for him to leave. He's a 2-star general. He's qualified. He's qualified to be the chief. More than qualified. Other issue that I saw just now, and this is a pet peeve of mine because I work for a hospital, but my favorite store here in town, Dollar General, when they built it, they left the insulation out, and all wet, and then they put it up. And there was nothing that that Cal could do about it at the time. So that place has probably got mold within the walls, and I don't go in there deliberately because I don't want to be breathing mold. The elementary school has exposed insulation, which is probably wet, and that's a problem. Because once they close that off, we're going to have mold.
And unfortunately, we have no say over the school.
So who do we go to?
The school.
School board.
School board. We have no say over the school.
You can't talk to the superintendent?
I mean, you can. You can go to a school board meeting and
Okay.
talk to them yourself.
Please join me next month.
But
Yeah, I mean, a
That's why
concern like that, you should have brought it right to their attention to begin with.
Well, I just saw it tonight.
Oh,
I just saw it tonight, but it is
Yep.
absolutely, if the hospital has wet walls, insulation, They will take and tear the
No.
wall down.
There's
and
probably,
replace the
there's
insulation.
probably going to be an inspection, okay, because they can't cover it up until the insulation inspection has been completed. All right, so that insulation will be looked at. I don't know if they'll find mold. I don't know if they'll find that it has gotten wet, but there are inspections, and those inspections are being done on a regular basis when they're supposed to be done.
Because the plastic is
So,
not adhering to the
Yeah,
side.
and what may have happened is the plastic may have blown off because of the high winds or whatever, and the water got in there. That doesn't mean that they're just going to cover it up. That just means that that happened.
So I wanted to see where we could go with this with the town.
Well, you should definitely bring it to the board's attention.
Oh, I will.
And then they have a board, actually, they have a board that was designated for monitoring that build
Okay.
and the construction of that, which they were supposed to give us updates to, but they never have, because we already know enough. So yeah, you're talking to the wrong, you're backing up the wrong tree here.
Any idea who's on that board?
I don't.
Outside of the superintendent and the facilities director, that's all I know of. I don't know who else.
There are board members that are assigned to that or on it.
So,
No, I.
But yeah, something like that, you notice, you should definitely bring it to their attention. We actually tried to put one of our board members on that committee.
Yeah.
To be sure that we were following the build and to be sure that we knew what was happening when it was happening. But they assured us that that was unnecessary and didn't take one of us and promised reviews and updates. We have seen none of that. So, good point.
Yeah, not a good thing.
thank you, Linda.
And I was the one that volunteered to sit on that board, by the way, and was denied.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Frank Lamati, 118 North Windsor Road. So since I just, I actually knew about some design. So I was going to wait till a formal letter came out. But then this reminds me of the committee again, police, fire, and town administrative committee. I've been very vocal about that as this select board is aware. Felt that committee did an injustice with regards to the town. At that, I didn't bring my notes, so I'm going by memory, but if I remember, the 2 weeks of discussion was bringing in a full-time police chief will get us recruitment, get us training, get us all sorts of stuff. A better administrator that person's full-time, an overall person that's in tune with the police department, and then also work a shift. For the last 5 months, I haven't seen that with the interim police chief. I was very skeptical and surprised of the increase in pay that person got.
You know what she gets paid?
I don't know, but I've heard the increase. I'm waiting
You've
for next
heard.
year.
I saw what was written in Facebook and places too, and it's not close.
Well,
But that's okay.
That's okay. We'll see, won't we, Gary? Once
We
it
will.
comes up, because it is public knowledge. So, but I again would like the select board to relook at this situation. I mean, now the town has one officer, one in training. I believe there's one in training currently, correct?
Correct.
I understand too, a couple of weeks ago, somebody applied, got hired, and then canceled the last minute for training. So is there only one person that's going to come out of training and work in the next weeks out?
No one's canceled.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah,
canceled.
where you got that from?
So I'm going to ask the select board, again, I felt that committee was kind of off base. They didn't really put a lot of time into the police chief discussion. It was only 2 weeks. I definitely remember the police chief of Northwood just basically saying full-time police department, full-time police chief. Everybody said aye, but we moved on to the which didn't have any debate. I thought it was a terrible meetings. I'm looking at the two guys that were on it right here. I'm not bashful. I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm going to tell you, I sat at all those meetings except for two, and no, and here we are. Nothing's come of it. The last chief was a problem. I don't think this chief. I've heard a lot of problems with this current interim chief.
You've heard of what? A lot of problems?
There's a few
Really?
problems, yeah.
So I will tell you that the current interim chief does between 80 to 100 hours a week, every single week consistently. If we, last year, going through the budget, if we kept her on salary, she would have been over $200,000. So we would have paid out. And you can imagine what the townspeople would have thought of that.
So what I would say to that is it's time to look at other options, is what I asked the committee back then. You know, again, that chief was a part-time, that worked fine. If it didn't work, tell us why it didn't work. Right now you're going through the motions of a new fire chief. I think the current fire chief's a good guy. From what I've seen, budget-wise, the way he runs his department, the way his equipment's being laid out, the way he budgets for capital requests, by your own admission, you say he does a good job. Yet you're showing him the door.
He's retired.
Yeah, that's his choice.
Where do you get this
Frank,
information?
you are so off base on this.
He's retired.
I'm not on Facebook, so I don't. I mean, so the select board didn't offer him the position, or
No,
they just
he's retiring.
He never
What
applied
do you want
for
us to do?
Stay.
Stay as what? We're looking at replacing him
No.
anyways. Why?
He said he would stay to the end of this year. That was it. So we would still have to find a fire chief.
Which we're in the process of doing.
And unfortunately, it's easier.
That's again.
I mean,
you
this-
hear two different things.
Well,
It's
you shouldn't hear anything.
Oh,
is
we
what
do.
you should.
I mean, let's face it, we do. So you just found out about the sergeant today, was it? Did I hear that
Today.
correctly?
Today.
Other people have known for a few days.
I'm sure they have, because
So
I don't know how they find out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how I found out.
it's called a back channel.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, people talk, right?
If he wants to, share that information with the public, he's more than welcome to do
The
that.
fire chief, sorry, fire chief. I
so
heard the fire chief was interested in staying. That's what I heard. Whether or not that's true, whether or not that's a figment of someone's imagination that told me, that's why I don't like to say all this. But since we were talking about it, I figured it.
but Frank, if we try to find a fire chief at the end of the year during budget season, how much of a mess is that versus right now?
Fire the fire chief?
Find
Oh, fine.
a
And
fire chief.
what are we keeping him till the end of the year for if we have qualified applicants?
We've
You
got
know.
qualified applicants.
what's the-
We've been through the review process.
Yeah.
We're working hard to
You
get
know.
this done.
And explained a few times, and with the committees, that both you've asked a lot of times, why we want to go full time, because of how difficult it is to get fire and police these days, to get anybody, but fire and police, and they're going to be working chiefs. You said you don't believe that, you don't think, well, that's fine, but that's the reason. And in fire, we need someone stronger on the medical side and not just fire side. We've got to get someone that's just as up to the level with medical, if not stronger. That's 73% of our calls.
So the thing is, Gary, and I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but no one has said why the part-time positions weren't working. I'll say that New Durham just hired a part-time fire chief, and when I brought that up to the committee, that's when the committee got ugly with me. I still feel that I don't know if you.
New Durham's a part-time fire department. You can't even compare the two.
So what? You can compare them.
No, you can't. A full-time for a part-time fire department.
I mean, what are the things that
They don't even have any employees. They're all per diem. That's a completely different story, Frank. You are talking
They're screaming
apples and
over there about
bananas.
the lack of service that they get. That they got to wait for an ambulance from Alton or from.
Enough with the back and forth.
Ambulances for all. If the
Right.
Boston ambulance is busy,
Right.
they're calling Bloomington.
Enough with the back and forth right now.
We're not talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to change his mind.
Keep it civil there. But what I will say, Frank, though, is yes, we're meeting with Pittsfield Select Board to see how we can work together. Regionalization. This doesn't mean we can't talk to Alton or Gilmanton. And I say Alton or Gilmanton because they're in the same county as us. Pittsfield's a different county, so we can't really talk police with them.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because
So-
I heard that last meeting, and I did some reading about it. It's almost, I mean, it's good that you're talking to Pittsfield, I think that's great, but if you wanted to merge city services out, it's not gonna happen.
I don't.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
So, I still feel that city services, and I'm just not talking police and fire, DPW should be included in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just think you're spinning the wheels. I mean, I just don't see whoever said that they needed a police and fire committee, that was a great idea. But they put people on there that had their own personal bias. That's a fact. I've seen that through the whole meetings, all the meetings, to be fair. They weren't open to discuss anything. I put out, what about a public safety director? I was slapped right down. Well, why isn't the part-time position working? No answer. Why do you want a full-time? And I heard recruitment, I heard better management of the department, I heard all sorts of stuff. It doesn't look like you're getting better management of the police department right now.
That's your opinion.
Well, that's my opinion.
And we're not
absolutely.
done.
But my
And we're not
opinion's panning out though, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Because Sergeant Bullock worked for the last police chief with no problem. I understand with no problem. Maybe they were. All of a sudden he's quit.
Let me just put it this way, it's not all of a sudden.
Okay, that's fine too.
But you don't know this information. So you assume.
I'm not assuming anything.
Oh, you're assuming everything.
I'm just saying this is what I see. He resigned, right? I mean, if he's still, I thought it was good that you kept him with the police car. Though I disagreed with it, but I said to myself, he had it before. Why shouldn't really take it away? I call it the taxi cab for him to go home and back. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
I agree with you. I don't think Joe Schmo down the street should be trying to pay his taxes and have to put fuel in his car to go to work to be able to pay his taxes, and meanwhile, we're giving free fuel here. I don't agree with it either, but I did the courtesy that he had it, and we'd go till the car.
I agree
agree
with
with
myself. You know what? You sound like you were working with him, and that's fine too. Again, it's my wife will tell you I didn't agree with it, but I understood.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the police chief is warranted a vehicle. I don't care where that police chief lives. That position is warranted a vehicle, just like the fire department. So I'm not going to cry and whine about that. It is what it is. They warrant those positions. If something's going on in the town, he shouldn't be in his personal vehicle stopping at a red light. He should be going through it with his blue lights, right?
Yep.
Makes sense to me. I go both ways. I'm not just negative all
No,
the
I get
time. I see the other side.
It's no different than stadies. They bring them home and they get a response from their house. I get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I understand that. That's why I don't complain. My wife will tell you I don't complain about things. I do complain the other way. So I just wanted to bring that again. I really feel that, if you're going to talk to Pittsfield, don't, shed some light on Gilmanton, shed some light on Alton. There's already a sort of a connection with Alton with the school.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know who set that in force. That was way back 20 years ago. I think that was being done when we lived here. I remember the high school being there.
Yeah.
Anyway. So there's some ties, but I just think consolidation and just needs to happen because everybody, as you said, everybody's running into the same thing. And I don't blame any employee, any person who's working in a company and can get a buck more an hour. If that's going to help his family, that buck works. You guys can either counter it or you have to say, I'm sorry, we just can't afford it. I'm being pragmatic. Maybe somebody could be a big raise. That's it. So you only have two.
Okay, Frank.
All right. I was calculating on 16 minutes. I want to thank you.
I know.
So again, I did news.
I do appreciate what you say. I may not like it, but I appreciate
Well,
it.
I think it's constructive criticism. I really do. And again, I just wanted to say I took that police, fire, and administrative position to heart, and I was just disappointed. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Frank.
Can I ask one more question?
No.
System conversion
No.
for
Say no.
system conversion for the general ledger for the town. Is that going to go forward this year? And
Yes.
when is it
Yes.
going to go?
We haven't actually decided that. We were holding off because of the addition, but now that the addition is not happening, we've got to discuss that. So, and we just made that decision last week to not go forward with the addition. So,
Is there any way to do it for December 31st or January 1st?
I would hope that it's done before then, but we're also in the middle of training some new employee, so at the moment, so it's to be discussed. Thank you. Cool.
To beat a horse to death here, Sherwood, South Linstead Road. Couple things. Dawn, that's where I'm going with this. You guys met with him April 14th in non-public, which I did read online. He obviously, you guys had a conversation with him at that time, and there's no details, obviously, in the non-public minutes. But 6 weeks ago, he came to you to talk about issues. Here we are 6 weeks later. I believe it's noted in the minutes that no action was taken at that time, is what it said. And so here we are 6 weeks later, no action taken. This was after the car thing, had nothing to do with the car thing. And now he's leaving us. So my comment here is that I feel sad that he came to you 6 weeks ago and was still not able to get it resolved by you guys, who ultimately are in charge. And secondly, now that Karen has an assistant, her role was going to be some HR, correct? That was going to be part of her role in bringing, maybe she's not quite there yet, but where you have an assistant, I would like for the board to ask for an exit interview for Dawn and find out exactly what's going on and why. That's his message.
Thank you. Close public input at 7 o'clock. 7 p.m. And whatever, anything else?
I don't think so.
That's
What's going on at DC?
good.
Yep, everything good.
Make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91-A:3 2
I'll second it.
B. All's in favor?
Aye. Thank you,
Thank you
folks.
all.
Thank you.